Here is the Eufy. By the way, the Eufy is an anchor company, and so if most anything you charge or anything like that usually had come from Anchor. So I'm familiar with Anchor. I think their products are pretty good. I have their vacuum, and we like it. We like it a lot. So anyway, here it is. It's a wired. I didn't want the battery version because my doorbell is currently wired. And it has a high dynamic range, and it's in 2K. Those were a couple of the reasons I wanted it. It requires a chime, a separate chime. So we have to bypass the existing chime we've got, and that's okay with me. So I don't have a problem with that. I may, in fact, already have the proper transformer. I haven't checked that. A few other things on the box here that you could see. Some positive things, clear view, etc. The big deal here is it has local storage. So currently I have on my Ring, I pay $33 a year, which is not a lot of money for their storage. This holds 4 gigabytes of storage, which is plenty. I could check it and download it when I need to. It does provide human detection, allows you to see the whole picture. It's weatherproof, and of course it has zones and everything else like most. It does work with Echo. So here we go. Eufy security, simple box, not much on it, as you can see. Now we'll take a look at the actual product. So let's open it up. And before we get to the actual products, the usual probably in here, but let's look at it anyway. And of course, the first thing I'll have to do is download the app. I have an Android phone, so I'll get it at Google Play. So inside this folder is almost nothing. It's the template in order to go ahead and make sure the holes are properly put in. So I'll do that. That's step 5. And I'll lay out all the steps here for you as we open this. This is always nice to have, to be honest with you. It looks simple, but it's nice to have to place it there so people know that they're being watched. And there's a quick start guide. Then we have this. So as you could see, we have the actual doorbell here and the chime over here. So let's go ahead and do this and take it out. So it's just a piece of tape that goes under the doorbell. It's more narrow than my existing doorbell from Ring. So it's a little bit more narrow. Probably a similar thickness, not sure. And on the back you could see that it's going to be able to hook in here. I'm sure that's what will happen. So we'll have to look, and here's the camera and the actual push button doorbell here. So I'm going to set that right on the side. Here's the chime, and the chime on the back, it looks like you'll put in the adapter for the outlet here, and I'm sure it's because of all the multiple countries that they need to support. Pretty simple. Buttons everywhere. There's a button here, and a button here, and a button here. So there's at least 3 buttons for the chime. So let's set that aside here. 7. So let's see what's inside step 7. Step 7 are the plates that will be put on the door. And so this is just a flat plate. And this one is an angled plate. So that's great news. So I will need to angle it because my door is right next to some brick. Step 5, and let's put step 7 over here. And let's see what else we've got. So there's a small box that was underneath here, and that's everything now that was in the box. So let's see, it looks like I see a number of steps in here. So I'm going to put that over there for now. Here's step 8. This is a key for the doorbell, and what this will do, I would assume, is this is what you use in order to allow you to take the doorbell off if you need to. Step 8, remember this was step 7. This is the plug we talked about that's going to go here. Here is step 3. Step 3, these are the jumpers that will bypass the existing chime in order to ensure that enough power goes to the doorbell. Here's step 6, which would be the anchors and the screws in order to install it. So there's step 6. The next step will be to actually begin this process. So here's the chime that we're going to go ahead and put the jumper cable in. So here is the Ring doorbell, and we'll listen to the chime. We have success, and we have turned it off, and there's no sound and no light. So here are the step 3 jumper. There's actually 2 of them. One is just an extra or optional one. So we're going to go ahead and put that on now. So here's the end of step 3. You can see what I've done here is I've connected the jumper from the transformer to the front. All right, we're going to take off the Ring doorbell, and that has a special proprietary tool. So we're going to just take that off and see what we got underneath. All right, the next step, I'm going to clean this off just a little bit more. And as you can see, there's the wires. And I shut the power off. And now I'm going to connect this here. And I'm going to use the angle so it goes like that because of this brick wall. So that's a nice little touch that I did not have with the Ring doorbell. So here we go. Well, this step is done. I've got that proper and that proper. It's as tight as could be. I might have to do some painting there. So the next step must be the doorbell. Well, there is the Eufy doorbell fastened, and I've got to tell you, it is solid the way it's in there. And now it's time to go set it up. You can see it's on a nice angle away from the brick. So here we go. Now I'm going to, on the app, add a device. Now it's giving me how to install it. Continue to detailed. So it tells me to long press for 5 seconds. I don't know if you could see that. And see if I hear a ringtone. I think I heard a ringtone. Allow 5 to 10 seconds for voltage diagnostics. So it's checking to make sure that I've done everything right. Bypass the chime. And I don't know if you could see that, but it says that the transformer is capable to power the doorbell. Our doorbell is connected, and you've heard it, and it's me. So the chime is plugged in, installed, and I don't know if you can see there's a small blue light there. All you have to do to sync it is on the top. You press it for several seconds. You hear a ding, you let go. On the app, you press connect, and it was done. That worked flawlessly, so that went really well. Now that the Eufy Video Doorbell 2K is installed and running, I'm going to go through the app with you a little bit here to show you some things. Not everything has gone well, and so what I want to do is I do want to show you some of that. So this is the devices page, and of course I only have one device, simply called Doorbell. And with it you can check your settings for it. And as you can see here, camera on, LED at night, I've got that on. And it looked good last night, by the way. Auto night vision I have on.
logo watermark I have on. So I wanted to put all those on, see what it does, see what it looks like. Motion detection, now this is important. This is one of the problems I had, is nothing mattered. It was not detecting anything at all. When I first put it on, it did work. A little while later, it didn't. So I've been working with Eufy support. Of course, I have it in detection mode. And for the activity zone, as you could see here, I know it's sideways, but anyway, this is a picture of our outside. And what happens here is that you're able to put an activity zone by adding, and you could put an area that you want included, and then you could also put an area you want excluded. For instance, maybe here or here. Well, it turns out it just didn't work. Nothing at all worked. So at the end, what we wound up doing is Eufy support has suggested I just eliminate uh, the uh, the zones. So I have no activity zones and no activity zone exclusions. So, however, I'll show you the part two. Uh, so, so with the default here, what I did is I tried a variety of things, and Eufy support advised me to use all motion. So as you could see, as you get down here, it will only show humans, no other motion, no pets, no cars, nothing. And that's typically what you probably want. And then it shows you a little bit more and more as you move up. And so this is where I was. And then I moved over to here after I had it set up and it wasn't working properly. And that helped just a little bit, but not much. And then finally, with Eufy support, I took it to there. So that's where I currently am. Video quality, HDR is enabled. I haven't done very much with this. Uh, I have it streaming with streaming quality versus recording quality, and I just don't know at this point, so we'll see what happens. Audio settings are fairly simple. I lowered them just a bit. They were up pretty high. It does work. There's a small lag. It's not terrible, but so the sound actually does work. And as you can see, I've enabled the audio recording and the chimes alert. Then continuing down, notifications. These are really what's important, or something that's important. We get a notification either if the doorbell rings, and we get one if there's motion detected. So we get all the notifications. We have smartwatches, so we get notifications on our phone and our watches. And so here you could say, I want it to go to either your live view or to the event. So somebody rang your doorbell, and if you go to this one, it'll show you the person walking up, ringing the doorbell, etc. If you go to live view, it'll take you directly to the live view. I've been using this one, which has been interesting, and I'll show you a couple of videos from it. I like this one, I think also, so I'm going to test this for another day or so. Uh, and for most efficiency, get notifications without delay. Only text included is what I have. I'm sorry, I chose to include a thumbnail. So the notifications I get are actually a little thumbnail. That's been great. It shows the person's face and where they are, etc. Uh, I wasn't interested in the full effect of getting everything at once. And you could set up what kind of alert you want. So for motion, for instance, there's all kinds of different tones. For now, I picked a default. The default tone is actually very simple. That's it. So not much to it. And so for now, I'm just using that. There's a variety of more that you could use. You should be careful about your storage. So with all my testing, I'm at 12% storage out of the 4 gigabytes. So I'll just have to watch that, and it's easy to delete them, so no problem. And it overwrites the oldest one when it's full, and of course someday it will definitely get full. Side and a volume button on the other side. This was one of the easiest things to set up, and it allows you to share a device. And so what I did invite admin privileges to one of my family members, and it doesn't work. They, the people never got the email, uh, and supposedly they did. So I just went ahead and, since it's family, I gave them the information to use on the app. So just for your information, hopefully you'll be more successful than me. Security, and you can set it to a way so when your phone leaves the home, and if you have it set to this, it'll turn it on and then turn it off when you come home. You could disarm it and its triggers if you want. You could set a schedule. This is really nice. These are all nice. Right now we're just using this. And now we'll go to events. So here's the events I mentioned. And up on the top, you could see that it gives you by day. So these were yesterday's. I'm filming this on the 29th of January. And so this gives you an idea. And these yesterday was truly all testing. And I'll show you a couple of night views. So this is where I was having trouble in this area when I was testing it, where it just stopped working. But you could see when it did work, it would say there was a human, there was motion. It was a human, of course. So it was pretty good. And up on the top, if you want, you can tap here, and then you could filter it and say, on the doorbell, I want to only see persons, and then confirm it. And so these would only be a list if there's people. You can also do pets, and if somebody's crying because you have audio on. So that's really nice. So let's take a look at a few from yesterday. I'll do this one here. So you could see where it caught me. That's me, and it caught me from about halfway up the yard and in, and you could see down here, it even showed my face when it took a picture of my face and said that I was a human. So that was really nice, and you could make it full screen if you want. So that was really positive. Let's take a look at another one or two, and I'll show you some from today, but let me show you one from last evening. As you could see, I have a couple. I'm going to show you 11:41, and this would be me coming out of the house. So let's try that. So as you can see, it shows me coming out the door, and I walked down the end of the porch. I came back. I walked down the other end of the porch, and I'm going to come up to the doorbell, and you can see it's clear and crisp enough that it got a nice view of my face, which is really what you want. So I thought that worked. And let's go to today, and we'll look at a couple. There's one where I actually did ring the doorbell, and you could see up here it says missed ring. So we'll take a look at that. So there was me ringing the doorbell, and you could see down here, it got a picture of me when I rang it, and you'd be able to zero it in on the face. So um, I have a bunch of others, but I think this is enough to give you a pretty good idea of how this works. Right now, it appears to be working. I went through a number of hours where it didn't, and I had many problems with mostly through the activity zones. And I'm still going to continue to work with Eufy because um, having the activity zones set up the way they are, meaning completely off, doesn't make perfect sense with me. I mean, this says I have 0 activity zones, meaning it should catch all the activity. Fortunately, we have bushes here, bushes there. You can see the brick wall here, and there's really not going to ever be any activity on the side of the house. So what you want to capture is what it's going to capture, which is people coming up here. So this has been a long bit of a explanation for you, and I apologize for how long it's taken, but I just want to make sure I give you at least somewhat of an idea. And by the way, I should mention to you, it works with Echo, Amazon Echo. So when I enabled the skill on Echo, and I might I'll try to take a video of that so you could see what it looks like. It actually looks awesome using the Fire Cube, and it also looks good on an Echo Show. So again, very sorry for the length of this, but hopefully it's something that's helpful to you.
I'm excited to show you this. To the right of the TV, so as you're looking straight ahead on the bottom right, you see a cube, which is the Amazon Fire Cube. And watch this, and so the TV is off. So, Alexa, show doorbell. So that was the simple command that I gave it. It turned on the television, as you could see, and hopefully in a second we are going to see the doorbell.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. And there you go. And let's see, come on, Eufy. It's buffering and buffering and buffering. And there it is. What a beautiful picture. So if we had been watching TV, we could have just, while we were watching it, just said to show, look how crystal clear that is. I'm going to give you one more look. Here's my phone. I am going to see how quick the notifications are, and they're slow, I believe. Anyway, so here I am. The camera can now see me. I'm in a zone where it can actually see me. Still nothing. I'm now walking up. Nothing. I am in front of the doorbell. Nothing. I am right in front of the doorbell, and there it is. So if you agree with me, I think it was way too long.